Hey, good morning. Welcome to Talking Church on this beautiful Tuesday morning, which is the first Tuesday in May, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
We're in May now, so may it be a great month.
Brilliant.
May there be sunshine.
Brilliant.
May there be beautiful weather.
Awesome.
Hey? So there we go, giving May its true definition. Hey, glad that you're watching with us today. Don't forget that you can be contacting us at hello@talking.church. Any questions you've got, any comments you want to make, we are broadcasting now live, and also this is available for catch up on Facebook and on YouTube. So it's good to have you here today, people watching from different places, people from New York checking in, different people from around the country. Stuart saying, may the fourth be with you.
It's the third today, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it's the third, but he's ahead of it
He's
for tomorrow.
the day ahead,
yeah. May the fourth be with you. Very Star Wars there for those that thought, what is Pastor Stuart on about there? And hey, good morning, Emily, Sandra, Mandy, June, Rose. We got our faithfuls watching and a few new people as well. So if you want to contact us, what's the best dress to address? Don't wear a dress. Well, you can wear a dress. Let's just stop right there, I think. What's the best address to contact us at, Mark?
So hello@talking.church. If you email that in, and we'll get those coming into the office, and we can get the questions across.
And we really want to hear from you. We want to know when we do a question. We've not yet had a question time on this series.
No.
Because we haven't had any questions, really.
No.
So send some questions in and we can have a question time.
Maybe everyone knows everything.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe, we're just confirming. But hey, here we are today, and we have just had an amazing weekend. I'm joined today by a super servant in the house at Family Church, and you may know him by two names. Okay, you may know him, and this may be a real penny drop moment for people today. A real boom, it just all suddenly makes sense. The man in front of me now is sometimes known as Mark Smith, which is the name that was given him at birth, but also whenever you hear us refer to Smudge. We're also referring to Mark Smith. It's an AKA, also known as, okay? Now, people are going, why Smudge? Whenever we've travelled together, people go, Smudge, why Smudge? Answer the question, why Smudge?
Okay, so it's kind of two reasons, really. So in our church, certainly at one point, there was a lot of Marks. I think we did set up one Sunday morning, and in the kind of set up circle when we were chatting beforehand, I think there were about 8 Marks in that one circle. So we were like, we need to find another way to identify
people. Don't like being called numbers, do they?
No, not
in today's society.
I don't get it.
I'm not a number. So we couldn't go Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool.
The Ford Cortina guys did that.
Yeah,
and it worked
they got away.
Yeah.
So we needed another name, and just one person back in college days used to call me Smudge because I'm a Smith. It's a naval thing. So if you're a Smith, you're a Smudge or a Smudger. So I was like, oh, well, I'll be Smudge, and it kind of took off, and now I'm Smudge. Wow. And I think some people think it's two different people, which, that's
I'm
cool.
really glad
Sometimes
that I didn't stick with some of the one-off names that people called me at school, because there were some interesting
names.
ones. I'm glad I didn't define my life by, Johnny Bracegirdle said this in year 3. He called me this, so that is what I would be.
And his name was Bracegirdle? Brilliant.
Yeah, random name. I actually know a Johnny Bracegirdle.
Awesome.
I just reached in and grabbed that. Right. Okay, so we just had a sensational weekend. Probably the strongest Sunday. And don't forget, we're not just one congregation. We're Portsmouth. Tell me if I forget one. Portsmouth, Gosport, Havant, Waterside, Waterlooville, online church, Philippines.
Yep.
But in Portsmouth, because that's where we were, what an amazingly strong Sunday. Not just best numbers yet, but just the whole. People were leaving the meeting on Sunday, and they were crying because of the presence of God. 2 people I spoke to in the corridor. They couldn't talk because they were messed up.
Wow.
And when I was
That's
like, what's wrong? They said, nothing's wrong. It's just we know we've just been in the presence of God.
Yeah.
It's right. I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
I love that. What did you make of Sunday?
Yeah, it's great. It's just a good feel right from set up. So we get there at 7 and we're setting that thing up, and there was a buzz in the air, and it's great. You can there's an anticipation as you're building church, and just right from the off, that kind of engagement. Like I was leading worship with the team there, and there was just like a real buzz around the praise and the worship. And it's not just like a buzz for buzz's sake, what a cool event, but just you could really feel like something was happening, something was going on,
and it just
carried through.
People were ready to worship.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it makes such a difference if people come in with a heart to go, okay, I'm going to worship today. Whatever's going on at home, whatever's going on elsewhere, I'm going to worship. And it really, it's like a shortcut to the presence of God. It's brilliant.
It really is. But also in the middle of all that, I love this about Family Church. We take time to celebrate a 95th birthday.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Number one, that someone's in our congregation that's 95 years old, loving the praise and worship. She walked with God. She has walked and continues to walk with God 85 years.
Wow.
It's amazing, right?
85 years.
So again, big shout out to Babs Tudor today. Gina loves that name. Being American, she's like, Babs Tudor. I said, yeah, come on. And she was 95, but we just stopped during the announcements. Cake, flowers,
we're family.
Happy, but we're family. That's what we are.
Yeah.
And I think we always contend not to be a performance or an entertainment moment, but a family that's passionate in what we do. And I think we're kind of getting there, which is really good.
It's good.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to chat a little bit today about something that's probably key to some people. Other people know about it, but I think not enough people understand the importance of it. And I'm talking about the place and the purpose of media in the church. Now, let me just lay some background here. Smudge is what I would call a multi-hat person in Family Church. Few people in Family Church, you say, what do they do? And you begin to go, this. You know, I love that. And you've served in the house. How long have you been in Family Church now?
21 years, 22 years, amazing, something like that. Yeah.
Amazing. You had a big old afro kind of haircut when you came in, didn't you?
I did. I had hair before, yeah.
You did? I remember that. I'm thinking, look at that kid's hair. You know.
I love that was like the impression you got.
Whoa, look at that kid's hair. Yeah. But you've been in the church, but if someone was to say to me, and this is true of a few people in Family Church, what does Smudge or Mark Smith, some of them are like, no,
who are you talking about?
I'm just happy this morning I know who Smudge is and who Mark Smith is. But if what does he do? I'd have to go, what day are you talking about?
Yeah.
What moment?
Yeah.
What moment? Because you've got you and your precious family, Janine and Mahalia, your hands are in a lot of stuff with Family Church. I mean, you lead the worship. We had a brilliant talking church with Janine. If you haven't put two and two together, or one and one together, whichever figure you want. Janine is Mark's wife, and Mark is Janine's husband. I know you've probably worked that out yourself. And Mahalia is... Anyway, let's just stop. You're going to have any more children?
No.
No, okay. Janine's probably watching. She's probably frozen that
I'm not sure if I should have said that so quickly.
Okay.
I'll
leave you that to sort out.
We're going to pray about it.
Okay. Maybe we could open up. No, let's not.
Send in your questions.
People come to church on Sunday, they would see you in this brilliant role that you guys are doing, a phenomenal job you're doing of leading worship. Yeah. And the worship just becomes so fresh, isn't it? So exciting. But also, a lot of what you do in Family Church is very what we would call not front stage, but behind the scenes. One of those key departments, we could be here all day saying you do this, you do that, because you're involved in, when we're looking for properties, when we're looking at event management. Those are all things fitting within the remit of what you do in any given week. But I want to zoom in, spotlight in on this role of media.
Yeah.
Because we're using media now. People may say, well, I don't like media. We're using it right now. But if media hasn't got a purpose, like most things, it's just an extravagance. It can be an ego feeder.
Right.
But we've got a purpose for our media. So, okay, I'm going to throw up a couple of questions, Mark, and get you talking a little bit here. Now, you've got many roles involved in media. What does involved in media look like week to week?
Yeah, so media at Family Church... it covers lots of different things, whether it be print media, so flyers and things that go out and you see on the chairs, posters that go up, banners that you see going up. That's all media related stuff. You've got social media, which obviously everyone is probably on social media right now watching this. Video media, so things that like maybe adverts, promotions, live videos, so online church. That's all media stuff. Which has obviously kind of really blown up recently. Podcasts, we've got podcasts that go out on Apple and Spotify and many other podcast providers. That's all media. So yeah, it's just loads involved. AV on a Sunday, that's all media. It's all media. Media is just communication, really. It's a method to communicate. So.
And I think one of our, and it's not an age thing, is it?
Absolutely
some people would go, oh, well, it's for younger people. No. Some of our best people that access media, social media, the stuff we're broadcasting, isn't the young
No.
pups. It's people of all ages.
That's right.
And I love that. Okay, now, media has always been something that's been a part of church. Now, this is going to be hilarious for some people who are a bit younger, but we used to have, we used to record our messages on audio tapes.
Cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes. You could fast forward them with a pencil. Now, give me a shout out if you remember cassette tapes. Some of you remember VHS.
8-track, not me.
I mean, media isn't a new thing. It's been around, and we've used media from day one. Now, even the media that we use when we see the beautiful screens in church these days, I can remember, as some of you can, give me a shout out if you can, OHP, overhead projectors.
Yep.
And someone had a job of putting printed words on the overhead.
That was my mum.
Yeah.
My mum did
but
that.
But the overhead projector, the designer of the overhead projector fitted a fan that made the acetate, sort of plastic sheets that you wrote on lift, like hovercrafts and float around. Brilliant invention. That's a media in some form. But when we started church 25 years ago, we recorded our message on audio. We made those available. And suddenly we've seen it evolve, but now you can watch, you can listen, you can download. You don't need an audio. You don't need. We went through CDs, compact discs. We went through all of that. Now that you can almost just click your phone and hear messages. Now we have always used media in church, but during COVID specifically, certain aspects of our media ministry came rushing to the forefront.
That's right. Yeah.
Talk about that moment when suddenly church gathering physically stopped overnight.
Yeah, so I remember it very clearly. All of a sudden we were like, well, we can't gather in person. How are we going to do church? And I don't think Family Church has ever missed a Sunday, as far as I can. We've always made it happen. Come rain, come snow, come shine.
Couldn't use a building here.
Yep.
We found one somewhere else.
That's right, yeah. So it was exactly the same. That was our mentality. That was what we wanted to do. So we were like, okay, how do we make church happen? And this is a journey that obviously many churches all around the country and around the world are on. How do we still get our message out? How do we still connect with our family? And online was the obvious choice. And so kind of overnight, literally overnight, we came up into this room, set up a little bit of it. Yeah, that was it. We had used it a little bit for some filming and stuff, but all of a sudden we were like, okay, well, we need to do church, but probably only for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah. So we thought 4 weeks. I thought, come on, we'll do this for 4 weeks.
There's literally a video, if you go right back on YouTube, if you go back to one of the first online preachers, I think it's you and Stu sat at the table here saying, yep, so for the next few weeks, Family Church will be online.
Little did we know.
18 months later. So then there was lots involved with that, whether it be technical things that we needed to look at and improve to make the experience bearable, whether it's technical content, like what we're going to, because it's not exactly the same as turning up in an auditorium.
It's not like watching a stage.
No.
Timescales, people's attention spans.
Yeah, that's
Everything's quicker when you get on media.
Yeah, and like the worship and how do we do that? How do we make it something that you can engage with at home? And there, we tried different things. They didn't work, so we tried something else, and it was like an evolving picture. And we were all just learning really, really quickly. And that was the same right across like the church. The church. Everyone was suddenly having to learn how to do this online. And it's actually a really good thing, I think, because all of a sudden everyone had to learn how to get their message out into the world without having to have everyone come into your building. It was brilliant.
It changed the dynamics, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Overnight, literally, we did our Empower conference. Tuesday, the church world shut down. And we fought for 4 weeks, 18 months. We were able to help other churches, which I loved, as we were learning. We were then saying to other churches, do it this way. We were suddenly thinking, oh no, how do you get the sound right? Oh no, how do you... But as we were learning, we were able to help other churches. So the influence of Family Church during that time, I think, had a lot more than what we knew. We were helping a lot of people to not learn things the hard way. Now, we've come out of COVID now. So all of a sudden in COVID, we had some fun times, didn't we? In that moment, we had the Sundays being broadcast. We had Gina's Bible study. She went through the whole Old Testament in COVID, pretty much. I was doing Talking Church still, a lot of it from home, the old brick wall, remember the brick wall behind me? Then we almost had those spontaneous Fridays. They were hilarious, weren't they? Where I would just go on and people saw a part of me that most people haven't seen before.
Right.
The funny bit of me. And we had so many people watching on Fridays. But again, what were we trying to do? We were using media, like this morning, to connect with people.
That's right, yeah.
Now, thank you, Jesus, that whole COVID season. We're the other side. We're post-COVID now. And I'm saying that. Somewhere you don't know. No. I declare we're post-COVID, right? We're not ditching some of the things. No. But equally, we're not saying we don't gather anymore. Just like cars go hybrid. We've gone hybrid as a church, haven't we?
Yeah.
That we're still looking at what did we use more in media during that time? How can we, one example, our leaders' meetings.
Yeah.
Before, when we did leaders' meetings, we would have one of two people because of the children. Now, we do our leaders' meetings, a lot of them still online.
Yeah.
And the buy-in, the attendance and that kind of stuff. So talk a little bit about the hybrid of who we are at Family Church, things that we've said, let's keep this.
Yeah, so as you said, over the period of time when we were all in lockdown or semi-lockdown or out of lockdown, then back in lockdown, we learned a lot of lessons of how can we present ourselves, how can we be family without being able to physically connect. And some of those lessons were easy, some of them are harder to learn, but we got there, and different people were at different places in that journey. But I think we all found our feet. Pastor Jeff became a Facebook sensation.
Yeah, he did.
He suddenly started posting all these videos. It was brilliant. But yeah, coming out the other side, we didn't want to just kind of go back to same old. We wanted to look at what we'd learned over the last 18 months to 2 years.
That's because we saw different people's responses to it.
Yeah.
Some people were forced to engage with media.
Yeah.
And it actually made their lives a little bit better.
Yeah, it broke down some walls, some barriers. And like you said, that's a great example. The leaders' meetings, previously we'd be all meeting in a room and everyone has, or a lot of people have families.
Time to get there.
Yeah, work and all that kind of stuff. So in moving those meetings online, which is media, we were able to kind of push the start time back a little bit so people could get home, sort out the family, but also husbands and wives could engage together rather than just one going and one staying at home. That's a great example of how we went hybrid. Now, we still do leaders' meetings in person as well, but we can do that combination so everyone can play a part or be a part of it. And the same with our Sunday morning gatherings. Obviously, we're back to gathering in person. We all meet together. So in Portsmouth, we meet up at the school. And that's great. We're getting good numbers coming back to that. But also having that online presence, which we kind of had, but we didn't really play to its strengths very well. We just kind of stuck a camera on our stage, which worked for a season. But we learned how to engage with people online on a Sunday morning. And now, obviously, Sarah's picked that up as presenting that on Sundays.
She does a wonderful job of making people feel that this is something that's happening for you right now.
And I mean, we all learn lessons. You learn how to preach to a camera rather than to a bunch of people in front of you. And it's very, very different.
18 months, it was me, a camera and a cameraman.
That's it. Like,
big shout out to Dan Webb, who was a legend during that time. A lot of legends during that time, but Dan was just like...
carrying it.
I basically spent 18 months with Dan in this studio on Sundays, and it was brilliant. It was great.
So we learned lessons and we wanted to carry that forward. So now the way we do online church on a Sunday morning is very different now to how we did it pre.
Now, on that, some people say, well, why don't you go back to just showing the meeting? I think one of the key reasons is because some are watching right now is we gained a community of people during that 18 months because it wasn't 4 weeks. Even now, we've got people that are watching this morning. I see they're watching this morning. They've not been able to make it back to church yet. Yet they've not missed a day of being with their church because of online media. We've got other people that have joined our family from New York, from Connecticut. Incredible video on Facebook this week of somebody in Connecticut watching online church. Brilliant. You can hear it in the background.
Yeah.
And then they look out the window and there's a big black bear.
No way.
Yeah, stripping a bird feeder. And you can hear the service in the background, the singing. And this huge black bear. And I was like, whoa, look at that.
That's great.
So there's all happening. Who knows what goes on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about somebody now, post-COVID, says, all right, media, I'm quite new to media. What does Family Church, in all of its media expressions, offer me in any given week right now? Over to you.
Okay, so starting on Tuesday, we've got online church, so you can engage online if you can't make it to one of our locations. So that's the first thing. Then we have, throughout the week, we have this, Talking Church. This is going on. We've got Bible study with Pastor Gina on the Wednesday. And then there's various other, like I said, pastors are posting videos throughout the week and encouragements and stuff like that. We've always got stuff going out on social media, whether that be, again, encouragements or like a recap of the weekend before. So my wife Janine does a lot of the Instagram stuff, particularly in Portsmouth, but for the whole church as well. She started doing these reels, which are like really, really good short videos, like a minute or so, just highlighting all the great bits that have happened that Sunday. And I would really encourage you, if you're part of Family Church, share these posts, share these images and these videos, because they're the best way to show your friends what church is like. Yeah. You know, you go back 10 years. I remember 15 years ago, we were sat around in the office thinking, how can we show people what church is like?
Good.
And we were looking at like getting a film crew in, burning DVDs. Can we make them like business cards? How can we give them out? Now, literally, all you have to do is pick your phone up and hit share, and all of your friends will witness what church is like. And yeah, so there's all those different avenues to connect with.
And also, that's watching. What about listening?
Yeah, so we got podcasts, so you can either listen directly through our website, family.church, or we've got podcasts that go out on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, all the different, as many of the podcast suppliers, providers that we can find, we get the message out there. So you can connect and subscribe through all of those as well. You get the message coming directly to your phone.
Okay, I'm someone watching today, and I've said, all right, I've mastered tuning in and watching you on Facebook. Want to listen to some more stuff by the preaching. How do I do that? Talk me through. Give me a dummy's guide.
So again, you can go to our website, family.church, and you can watch and listen directly on our website. Or if you go to all the different platforms, so on Facebook, as most of you are probably on right now, you can follow us on Facebook and you'll get notifications come up when we're posting new things. You can subscribe on YouTube. So if you go to our YouTube channel, the easiest way to do that is probably search FC Live, and that will take you to you'll see our little logo, our Family Church logo. And if you subscribe to that channel, again, you get notifications whenever we're putting new stuff out. And then through the podcast channels, subscribe, and then you won't miss out on anything. And also when you're watching, if you keep liking it, it really helps us get the message out.
All right, and, we have arrived at one of my, if not my top frustration when it comes to media and why will people not press share? It's like, it's like we say, hey, could you bring your friend to church? And they'd go... Where when somebody presses share, maybe people don't know what happens. When somebody presses share or like, how does that affect our outreach to the world?
So without getting too technical, all the social media platforms have these things called algorithms. And basically what it is Facebook or Instagram saying, this is what we think people want to look at or see on their feed. So, when you're scrolling through and you see random things come up or different order of things, or you miss stuff, and that's all to do with the algorithms. And they're basically looking at what you're looking at and what you're liking and what you're sharing and giving you more of the same. And then that also then feeds out to other people, whether it's your friends or other people on social media platforms. So the more you like and share, other than the direct thing that if you share a post, your friends will see that post more than likely. It also then goes beyond that, and other people will start to see the material. And I think we were chatting beforehand. It's not really. It's actually nothing to do with us wanting to be big on social media. No. We're not interested in social media fame.
It's not ego driven.
It's about the message. We want to get that message out to people.
Also, what you said before. Give people eyes into when you say to your friends and family, church. They say dusty old building, not relative. But then whenever their friends come to our church for a christening or something, they go, wow, this is different. Now, social media, pressing share, enables us to take what we are as a church to their living room. We've seen time and time again, and again, this is why one of my frustrations, it's like when I go on a share campaign, say on Sunday, we may get 20 people share, and you could have 300 views. You double that to 40 shares, you're suddenly at 700 views.
And more.
I wish
Because it kind of exponential.
I wish people could see that one press of share as many times as you can. That one like shifts things for our church, doesn't it?
And I think, this is talking church, right? So we're predominantly talking to people in the church. So we can talk house, we can talk family. Recently we had our minibus stolen from the back of the building here, our community minibus, and we put a post out about it. And it got, I don't know what the final figure was, but it was over 1,000 shares and likes, and it was just crazy. And then we'd have a Sunday morning where 9 people get saved.
Yeah.
That's like eternity. That's salvation.
Yeah, it's not a minibus, is it?
No. And we'll get maybe, like you said, 20 people sharing it. And really, for me, that's like, well, what does that say about us? We're more interested in getting a minibus back than we are excited about the eternal lives of 9 people and then their families and then beyond. And I think that it's no good to be passive. Like, we need to be proactive in this. This is a form of communication. This is getting the message out. Like I said, it's not about, we've got so many people following us now. It's nothing to do with that.
That's not the heart of Family Church.
No.
But it's true. If I fell off the stage when I was preaching, it would go to thousands of shares.
Yeah, for sure.
It would, but maybe I'll try that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that.
I think after the 3rd or 4th week of you falling off, we might concern about your...
But look at our shares.
Yeah.
But again, guys, I hope you're seeing this, that we can preach our message, the message of the kingdom, unstopped. There's no freedom speech lockdown on us at this time.
Yeah.
We've got this moment of social media that we can say what we want about Jesus wherever we want. But how do we get people to press share?
It's just about going to where people are at. Again, I was chatting to you earlier. You look in the Bible and Jesus went to where people were. So he went out into the fields. He went into people's homes. He went into the temple. He went into the marketplaces. And what we're doing is just going into the world of social media and sharing the message, because that's where people are at. If you look around on the bus, on the train, the bus stops, people walking in the streets, people in the park, people, wherever they might be, they're in the world of social media. So all we're doing is going into that world. There's nothing, we're not doing anything spooky or weird or different. We're literally just going into another area of the world that didn't exist when Jesus was walking the earth. If it did, he would be right in there talking to people, sharing and sharing encouragements and messages.
It's a change in our generation. I was speaking to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor said, give it a generation, people are going to have incredible neck problems.
Yeah.
Because now people walk around like that.
Strong thumbs.
Yeah, strong thumbs, powerful thumbs. But he said it's going to actually work its way that people are going to begin to have neck problems, because all of a sudden the generation are walking around like that, constantly like that. That's why. Put your phone up like that, I suppose.
You walk into things.
Yeah, at least then you won't walk into a lamppost. But it's everywhere you go. And again, I want to judge this, but I'm guilty. I want to say...
It is what it is, right?
What's wrong with this generation? They're always on their phone. It's like, I hate it if we're watching a movie and people are on... I hate it, because I've got not FOMO, I've got FUMO, fear of others missing out. If it's a funny film, everyone's got to be in it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'll tell someone else off, you're always on your phones. And then it's almost like a habit, I'm on mine.
Yeah.
Why don't we use this and not oppose it, but use it for getting the message of the gospel out? Now, I want to slide this conversation in a different direction, because people are watching and they're like, they just turn up, flick the power on, and they're off. Now, to be effective in media, visual media, audio measure, is that Jewish?
Might be.
Media.
Text in, tell us.
Yeah, if measure makes sense to you, let us know. But audio visual, it doesn't just happen.
No.
There's a lot of work behind the scenes. Tell the people watching today, in their church, family church, online congregation, normal congregation, what work looks like when we say, okay, we're going to be a social media or a media using church. What does that look like?
Yeah, so there is a lot involved. It doesn't just happen, but this is things that we've learned over time. And I think the key for anything that we do media that we've learnt is that we want the quality to be good.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's better to not do something than to do it and it look terrible, sound terrible. So we've worked on getting the quality of what we're doing up, which involves investment in equipment and all that kind of stuff. But it also involves investment from team. So both numbers, getting people in and getting them involved, which we can perhaps talk about in a minute, but also the people who are getting involved, learning and upskilling and finding out what is the latest thing to do, what is the new thing to do. You can see that even with our media. Janine works on these reels now, these videos, because she's learned that actually a graphic gains so much traction or attention, a photo perhaps a bit more, but a video exponentially more. Because those videos, for example, so that minute video that she'll put out, there'll be over 100 video clips that she's filmed, and then she spends maybe 2 or 3 hours piecing that together, maybe more. It doesn't just happen. But you watch, I pick up my phone, watch it. It's like a minute long. Oh, brilliant! So you think, it's a minute long, probably took 10 minutes.
Yeah, snatched it.
There's a lot going on, and that's the same in our congregations. When we're setting up the AV and the sound, and which is all media. There's a lot that goes on to set that up. Setting this up, it took time to develop it, try things. It didn't work. Try something else. Just setting up this room for Talking Church, and then once the camera gets shut down, a lot of this stuff goes away, and then we set up ready for the next thing that we're recording. There's loads that goes on behind the scenes, design work, and even just the work in finding out for ourselves what we want to do. So we did a rebrand when we came back off of lockdown. There was a lot of work went into that because, what we didn't want to do is come back same old. Yeah. But we also didn't want to be so far removed from what people knew before lockdown. So we had to take time to kind of find that balance, working with yourself and the leaders and Janine, who also does most of our design work. It doesn't just happen. We don't just suddenly go, oh, there's a logo, or there's a graphic, or, that's a photo, that will do.
Things are built in the unseen, which takes a lot of time for a moment in the scene.
That's it.
Really is,
and
isn't it?
It goes just like that.
And then, boom. Yeah, it's like whenever we've done a conference, the work that went into a conference, and it's gone in a weekend.
That's a good meal. I went out on the weekend, I went out for a meal around some friends' houses, and we were talking, they're both chefs, the husband and the wife. The food is good. I'll tell you who it is afterwards.
Yeah, no, please, I'm interested
you get an invite.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how long it takes to prepare a good meal, and then in 10 minutes it's all eaten.
Yeah.
And you've moved on. Yeah. And it's the same with media. It's the same with a lot of what we do, but we see the value in that preparation. Yeah. We see the value in making sure it's good quality, so that experience for the person who sees it, hears it, experiences it themselves is a good one, and they want more, because that's essentially what we want. We want people to come back and share and spread. And
let's talk manpower.
Okay,
getting media done. Thank you, Lord, for the equipment we've got, and we've collected that over the years, and it's always wearing out, being replaced. But it takes people to run equipment.
Yeah.
If somebody said, well, you don't need me, your teams are full, what would your response be?
They're not. Okay. That's a short response.
Yeah. Can you look at the camera and cry?
Yeah, they are. Where's the cry cam? No, they're not full. What they are, they're full of people who are faithful and will break their back to make it work, because we don't want to skip a beat, but we need more people. And it just takes, there's some stuff within AV that takes an element of skill, an element of talent. That's great. So, we can't just use anybody for anything, but there is something that everyone can do. So we just need people to come forward. Janine and I, we move around the coffee hall and we chat on Sundays, and we find out, we've got 3 YouTubers in the church. Like, where did they come from? We didn't even know they existed. But I think it's very much that people see content going out, so there must be people doing it, so they don't need me. But it's more, it's a case of people not burning themselves out, but like working doubly hard when really we could do with being able to spread the load. So we need people to come forward.
And that's all congregations, isn't it? Because
all congregations.
All the congregations have an element of media that we're wanting to advance.
That's right.
So if somebody was watching today and they went, yeah, no, I could get involved in media, who do they contact?
myself. So you can email me. I don't think we've got the email address coming on the bottom of the screen, but if I fill a little bit, then maybe Gabby, who's working the studio right now.
Come on, Gabby.
She can, you can email hello@talking.church. Let's use that as an email address. Send an email into that if you're interested
This is so
in getting involved.
Right
I know,
like
that.
Let's see if Gabby can get your email address up there.
So it's mark.smith@family.church. Go, Gabby, go. Or you can go to our website. If you go to our website, family.church, now Gabby doesn't know whether to put family.church on the screen or my email address on the screen.
Let's see what she does.
That will work. That will do as well. But if you go to our website, family.church, and you click on the little menu in the top right-hand corner, there's a menu option that says Get Involved. And actually, if you click on that, they can get involved with anything in the church. So all of our church teams, you just fill out the very simple form, and we'll get back in contact with you and see how we can move forward. But for the AV team or the media team, we need photographers, we need people who can work media stations, with computers, whatever. If you've got any kind of affinity with computers, that's great. And then going into kind of camera work and sound and any design, any illustrators out there, any designers, anyone who's got a flair for social media. If you've got like quite a few followers yourself because you know about content, contact us. We really, really need more people on the team because, like you said, it's not just about Portsmouth. No. You know, the other congregations, we really would love to see. I mean, fortunately for Portsmouth, we've got myself, we've got Janine in the congregation, we've got some other great photographers, and we need that spread across. There's photographers in the other congregations as well, but we just need to grow those teams so that we can get the message out about all of our congregations.
Anyone that thinks, I can do certain aspects of media, step forward.
Come forward.
All right, we're coming in for a close now. We've spoken about how we started. We had overhead projectors, we had audio tapes. We've spoken about how COVID forced our hand to use media. It forced the hand of people to engage with social media and with other forms of media. Yeah. I'm a dreamer. If we had more people working, more people sharing, what could we do next?
Good
question.
It's a great question. I mean, content is king. So the more content you can get out, the better. So we do what we can do, but there's nothing stopping us putting more content out. Yeah. Filming more video footage, getting more messages out there in any way that we can. And the dream is to fill people's feeds up. Feed is on Facebook. So when you're scrolling through, that's your feed, or on Instagram. Fill it with content that's going to build up, edify, stuff you can share that's, evangelistic. If we can fill people's feeds with that, then the world is our oyster, get the message out. And then, of course, you've got Metaverse, which is a whole nother ball game, which is probably a whole nother talking church or three.
It really is. About that. And let's not even open that one up. With a minute to go, let's not open
Anyone
up
commenting
Metaverse.
on Metaverse?
Anybody commenting on Metaverse? Not yet, no. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed today, and I hope that's given you some insight. Remember, Talking Church is really about looking at what we do, talking about what we do. Some people may say, well, I'm not interested in media. You need to be interested in media. And
if you're watching it, you're in it.
So maybe your commitment today is you're going to become a share bear. You like that? A share bear. Yeah, nice. Share because you care. But whenever you see Family Church doing something on Sunday, share. Almost like a habit. Share. See the church on Sunday, share. See online church, share. See Talking Church, share. Imagine everybody's waiting, thinking everybody else will do it. If we all took responsibility for that shift, but also stepping forward. Maybe you like taking a good photo. Maybe you're in a congregation and you think, I could take a photo. Go talk to the pastor. Contact us at mail@family.church or hello@talking.church. Or maybe you say, I'm a little bit of a techie. I could run an audio desk. I could be involved in filming. Come on, step forward. Jump on in. There's something for everyone in Family Church. I'm so thankful, Mark, for all you do for media because, man, we came through that COVID season strong and we came out strong. It's brilliant to be back together on Sunday mornings, but also to have retained our online strength as well. More power to it. Anything you want to say in closing?
Yeah, no, just that media and online is just a vehicle to get people gathering, whether it's physically or online, and to get the message out. It's all about the message, right? We gather on Sunday and we have fellowship, but the ultimate goal is get the message out and getting people saved and discipled. And media is just a great vehicle to be able to do that. So don't be scared of it. Also, if you're not very techie, if you're not really into media, if you're not really into that kind of stuff, you can also give. I mean, this all costs money, and there's always this tension of like how much can we spend on gear? How much should we? And I think we've done really well at kind of getting that balance right. But there's always things breaking and always more stuff to do. So there's really no excuse. Anyone and everyone can get involved.
Okay, help us be the best church that we can be for God. On the TVs, on the audios, on every route of media.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Hope you've enjoyed today. We're going to be back next Tuesday for Talking Church. And why don't you tell some friends about Talking Church? Why not even share today's broadcast and let people hear the why behind the what we do? Hope you've enjoyed. Remember, stay in contact with us. You can contact us at hello@talking.church. We will see you next week for Talking Church. God bless. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.